Have you ever paused to consider the subtle yet significant way your legs begin to signal the passage of time? It's a phenomenon many of us experience, perhaps noticing a slight hesitation before standing, a diminished spring in our step, or a general feeling of less steadfastness when navigating our daily routines. These sensations, often dismissed as just getting older, are actually the early warning signs from our legs, the very foundation of our mobility and, critically, our independence. Without proactive attention, this foundational strength can erode more rapidly than we might anticipate, leading to unforeseen limitations. The encouraging news, however, is that maintaining strong, healthy legs as we age doesn't necessitate drastic lifestyle overhauls, complex, expensive therapies, or relentless, exhaustive exercise regimes. A surprisingly powerful shift can be achieved by strategically incorporating just 3 specific categories of food into the daily fabric of your diet. This video is dedicated to peeling back the layers of scientific understanding surrounding the preservation of leg strength and enduring mobility, irrespective of how many candles have graced your birthday cake. We are embarking on a detailed exploration to reveal these 3 non-negotiable food components that every senior citizen should consciously prioritize consuming. The benefits derived from this dietary focus extend far beyond mere comfort. They actively work to combat muscle atrophy, significantly mitigate the debilitating effects of joint pain, and bolster overall physical stability. More importantly, these dietary choices serve as a crucial defense against potentially independence-threatening conditions such as sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass, and osteoporosis, the weakening of bones. Should you find the insights shared within this presentation valuable and wish to remain connected to a community dedicated to proactive, healthy aging, I strongly recommend subscribing to this channel and ensuring the notification bell is activated. Missing out on future installments could mean overlooking vital information tailored to enhancing your well-being. Your consistent support in any form is deeply appreciated and fuels the continued creation of content like this. Furthermore, if this exploration into nutritional science for longevity resonated with you, showing your appreciation through a like and sharing this video across your network will significantly amplify the reach of these life-enhancing lessons. To help me tailor future content precisely to your needs and interests, I invite you to engage with a simple poll in the comments. If the subject matter of this video aligns perfectly with what you seek, please comment with the number 1. If you feel there are areas requiring improvement or different topics altogether, please comment with 0. Your direct feedback is invaluable in shaping the quality and relevance of the content provided. Now, let us commence this illuminating journey by focusing on the first essential dietary component. Food number 1. Protein-rich foods. As we navigate the graceful journey of aging, one of the most fundamental yet frequently underestimated commitments we can make to preserving our overall health and physical capability is an unwavering focus on optimal nourishment. Within the spectrum of nourishment, the spotlight must firmly rest upon protein. Protein transcends the simple classification of a macronutrient. It is, quite literally, the indispensable cornerstone for the maintenance, repair, and regeneration of our muscle tissue. Think of it as the invisible, yet immensely strong thread that weaves together our physical structure, ensuring we can move through the tapestry of life with inherent strength, resilience, and enduring vitality. To draw an analogy, protein acts as the bedrock and framework of a sturdy house. Without a sound foundation, every structure built upon it is destined for eventual compromise and collapse. For older adults, particularly as we cross the threshold into our 60s and beyond, the imperative to ensure our bodies receive an adequate and consistent supply of this fundamental building block becomes exponentially more critical. Our muscles are not static entities. They exist in a perpetual state of dynamic turnover, a continuous cycle of breakdown and subsequent rebuilding. Protein is the central player in facilitating this essential repair and growth process. If one truly contemplates the rhythm of daily life, every movement, from the simple act of rising from a chair, to the sustained effort of walking across a room, to the leisurely pace of a park stroll, engages the musculature of our legs. These muscles are performing constant work, and to function optimally, they demand appropriate, high-quality nutritional support. This necessity is amplified specifically in the musculature of our lower limbs, as these tissues bear the entirety of our body weight and are the primary engine for all locomotion. However, as the decades accumulate, our bodies naturally become less proficient, less efficient at maintaining existing muscle mass. This unavoidable physiological deceleration in the rate of muscle tissue retention is clinically recognized as sarcopenia, and it is a common challenge many individuals will inevitably encounter. The realization of this creeping weakness can be disheartening, even frustrating, as we observe reduced physical endurance, increased susceptibility to fatigue, and a growing difficulty in executing tasks that once demanded seemingly little conscious effort. Yet, it is crucial to grasp this undeniable truth. This progressive decline does not have to be an unalterable fate. Through a deliberate and well-informed approach to nutrition, centering specifically on sufficient protein intake, we possess the power to significantly decelerate the physiological impact of aging upon our muscles, and in many cases, even initiate a degree of reversal of accumulated tissue degradation. Protein is the master key capable of unlocking the pathway to sustaining vital muscle mass, which directly translates to preserving functional mobility. Contemplate the sheer liberation and confidence that accompanies moving through your everyday existence with the inherent strength derived from conscientiously nurturing your body. Protein intake assures that the muscular structures in your legs, and indeed throughout your entire physique, remain robust, fully functional, and supremely capable of supporting your life journey. When contemplating the practical selection of protein-dense foodstuffs, a vast and encouraging landscape of options unfolds, catering beautifully to every dietary preference. Whether you lean toward omnivorous, vegetarian, or strictly vegan approaches, you can readily source abundant protein-packed provisions. For those who incorporate animal products, lean cuts of poultry, such as chicken and turkey, along with lean beef, stand as exemplary sources of highly bioavailable, high-quality protein. These animal sources are replete with the specific amino acid building blocks that muscle tissue requires for timely and effective repair following any period of physical exertion. But the exploration of protein sources should not cease there. Let us direct our attention toward the gifts of the sea. Fish, particularly the oil-rich varieties such as salmon, tuna, and mackerel, are not merely loaded with protein, they also deliver significant quantities of the profoundly beneficial omega-3 fatty acids. These good fats are exceptional allies for joint health, a system that requires increasing support as the years advance. Omega-3s possess potent abilities to modulate and reduce inflammatory responses within the body, while simultaneously contributing to the lubrication of joint surfaces, a critical factor in maintaining fluid mobility and enduring comfort in our later chapters of life. Furthermore, we must pay homage to the humble yet mighty egg. This simple food item, a dietary staple across countless cultures for centuries, is a veritable treasure trove of indispensable amino acids coupled with essential vitamins and minerals, all of which play integral roles in the processes of muscle repair and synthesis. Moreover, the egg's versatility in the kitchen is unmatched, allowing it to be seamlessly integrated into virtually any meal structure. It is vital to internalize the profound significance of protein, specifically concerning the maintenance of leg strength. Insufficient protein intake starves the muscles of the necessary fuel required to maintain their density and power, inevitably leading to a slow but steady depletion of muscle mass, with the legs often bearing the brunt of this loss. Our leg muscles are the very scaffolding that supports our vertical posture and enables all ambulatory activity. Should these supporting structures diminish in integrity, even elementary actions, such as rising from a seated position or traversing a short distance, can become associated with discomfort, or genuine difficulty. Regrettably, a large segment of the population neglects the paramount importance of protein in muscle maintenance until they are actively confronting the tangible consequences of muscle loss. This is precisely where a protein-centric strategy becomes pivotal. Compelling scientific research consistently demonstrates that a diet consciously rich in quality protein can significantly impede the onset and progression of sarcopenia, markedly lower the statistical risk associated with debilitating falls, and generally elevate the level of functional mobility in older adults. Therefore, ensuring consistent daily protein consumption stands as one of the most effective, evidence-based preventative measures against muscle degradation and the subsequent erosion of personal independence throughout the aging continuum. If the question arises as to the most effective methods for integrating more protein into your current dietary framework, rest assured, the implementation is far more straightforward than many imagine. A highly effective foundational strategy involves deliberately ensuring that every single meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, contains a dedicated source of high-quality protein. For the morning meal, consider 2 or 3 perfectly cooked eggs, perhaps fashioned into an omelet generously studded with nutrient-providing vegetables, thereby capturing both protein and valuable dietary fiber. Lunch presents an excellent opportunity to enjoy a substantial, protein-loaded salad, perhaps featuring grilled chicken, breast, or canned tuna, balanced atop a colorful mosaic of fresh vegetables. For the evening repast, a satisfying choice could be a moderately sized portion of lean steak or a deeply flavored, hearty lentil and bean stew, both options being inherently delicious, deeply satiating, and protein-rich. Do not overlook the power of strategic snacking. The intervals between main meals are prime opportunities to administer a supplementary protein boost. A small handful of almonds, a serving of high-protein Greek yogurt, or a carefully selected protein bar can deliver that essential supplementary nourishment your muscles crave midday. For individuals who encounter challenges in consistently meeting their protein quotas through whole food sources alone, the strategic inclusion of protein supplements, such as shakes or powders, can be a beneficial adjunct. There are specialized protein formulations available that are specifically tailored for the senior demographic, frequently enriched with supplementary vitamins and minerals designed to bolster bone density and joint integrity. These can offer a highly convenient pathway to elevate protein intake, especially for those experiencing difficulties in consuming sufficient quantities during traditional mealtimes. However, the selection of any supplement demands prudence. Always seek out products that are demonstrably free from excessive added sugars and artificial fillers. After all, just as one would consciously avoid filling their body with processed junk food, the same rigor should be applied when choosing what to ingest as a supplement. A further critical piece of nutritional wisdom concerns the timing. Distributing your protein intake evenly across the day proves significantly more metabolically advantageous than consuming the majority of your allotment in one large sitting. The body is optimally equipped to absorb and effectively utilize protein when it is delivered in smaller, consistent doses across multiple eating occasions. The general guideline suggests aiming for approximately 20 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal, roughly equivalent to the amount found in a serving of chicken the size of your palm, 2 large eggs, or a substantial cup of cooked beans. This steady infusion ensures a continuous supply of necessary amino acids, which is the bedrock for sustained muscle repair and growth cycles. For those who feel uncertain about the precise quantum of protein that aligns with their unique physiological requirements, seeking guidance from a registered dietitian or a primary healthcare provider is a highly advisable step. These professionals can provide personalized calculations based on your current activity levels, specific health status, and individualized goals. There is absolutely no measure of humility in seeking expert advice. Understanding and adhering to the precise nutritional balance your body requires is a fundamental component of successfully navigating toward a long, vigorous, and healthy existence. If you have diligently followed the instruction to comment a 1 if you found the material useful, I appreciate your continued engagement and presence here. Nevertheless, it remains vital to underscore that protein, while foundational, functions as only one essential pillar in the edifice of sustained leg strength and comprehensive bodily health. To truly flourish and thrive during one's later years, it is imperative to create a synergistic relationship, pairing protein intake with other vital micronutrients, notably the potent omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, vitamin C, and magnesium. When these compounds are integrated, they forge a powerful collaborative effect, comprehensively supporting muscle integrity, optimizing joint mechanics, fortifying bone density, and enhancing overall systemic vitality. Conceptualize these nutrients as members of a highly specialized team, each executing a critical function to ensure you maintain your peak feeling of well-being. The encouraging reality is that the optimal moment to begin refining your nutritional intake is always now. Regardless of your culinary leanings, whether toward meats, fish, eggs, or entirely plant-derived diets, the commitment to securing adequate daily protein is non-negotiable. With the correct dietary scaffolding in place, you empower yourself to keep both your legs and your entire musculoskeletal system resilient and powerful as you age. More profoundly, this commitment safeguards your self-sufficiency and preserves your capacity to fully engage with and savor every aspect of life that brings you joy. You possess the right to navigate each 24-hour cycle with burgeoning energy, genuine delight, and the unhindered freedom to pursue the activities that define a meaningful existence. Therefore, commit to nourishing your body with quality protein, embrace this proactive self-care, and hold fast to the belief that the most rewarding chapters of your life remain vibrantly ahead. Food number 2, omega-3 fatty acids. As we progress along the intricate pathway of life, aging manifests as an undeniable process, bringing with it the subtle yet persistent accumulation of biological wear and tear. It is often the understated shifts in our fundamental health and functional capabilities that can catch us most unaware. Among the most critical and frequently underappreciated dimensions of healthy aging is the sustained maintenance of physical robustness and unimpeded mobility. For a considerable number of individuals, the simple maneuvers of the day, such as easing oneself out of bed at dawn or ascending a flight of stairs, can gradually transform into recognized physical hurdles as the years accumulate. It is hardly a revelation that the discomfort associated with joint pain, persistent stiffness, and muscular fatigue constitute common adversaries during our later seasons of life. This is the exact juncture where the incorporation of omega-3 fatty acids emerges as a necessity, a profoundly significant nutrient category capable of decisively influencing the quality of our aging by assisting in the preservation of strong legs and healthy, pliable joints. Omega-3 fatty acids are far more than a fleeting dietary trend. They are fundamentally indispensable for the long-term structural and functional health of our physiology, especially as the aging process accelerates. Through personal observation and study, I have come to deeply appreciate the pivotal role these healthy fats play, not merely in the critical function of quelling systemic inflammation, but also in the active promotion of flexibility and unimpeded movement. Learning about the comprehensive actions of omega-3s felt akin to discovering a natural, potent strategy to counteract the degenerative effects of time, thereby safeguarding my ability to remain agile and mobile for the longest possible duration. As the human body ages, there is a documented tendency for chronic, low-grade inflammation to become more pervasive throughout the system. This is a silent backdrop to many health issues, but this inflammatory state significantly contributes to the onset and worsening of painful conditions such as various forms of arthritis, pervasive joint stiffness, and debilitating muscle fatigue. These pervasive inflammatory pathways can collectively leave an individual feeling chronically achy, perpetually tired, and occasionally overwhelmed by the perceived demands of simple physical activity. The genuine marvel of omega-3s resides in their demonstrably powerful anti-inflammatory characteristics. by actively assisting the body in dampening the inflammatory cascade that infiltrates our joints and muscle fibers. Omega-3s can offer substantial amelioration of the aches and stiffness that frequently render even the most routine activities feel like monumental tasks. In my own journey, I've observed that implementing minor but consistent dietary adjustments, specifically by augmenting the intake of omega-3 rich foods, has yielded benefits extending beyond mere physical ease of movement. It has also corresponded with noticeable improvements in mental clarity and an uplift in general life satisfaction. What confers such exceptional efficacy upon omega-3s is their inherent capacity to directly challenge the chronic inflammation that so often shadows the aging body. Inflammation is the hidden antagonist behind a host of age-related ailments, ranging from arthritic conditions to the accelerated breakdown of muscle tissue, and it possesses the power to silently erode the inherent strength and vitality of our legs. It represents one of those subtle, insidious physiological processes that can gradually chip away at our functional mobility until one day we realize we are no longer capable of traversing our environment with the fluidity we once took for granted. Omega-3 fatty acids, specifically the forms known as EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, exert their protective effect by helping to modulate and actively decrease this systemic inflammation. This reduction allows the intricate mechanisms of the joints to operate with reduced friction and allows muscle tissues to experience less residual soreness and stiffness. The effectiveness of omega-3s in mitigating inflammatory responses is so pronounced that they frequently provide a natural, non-pharmacological source of relief for those managing chronic conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis, leading to palpable improvements in overall joint mechanics and range of motion. Another truly remarkable benefit accredited to omega-3s is their supportive role in the body's natural production of collagen. Collagen is the single most abundant protein in the body and serves as the fundamental structural component responsible for maintaining the integrity, suppleness, and inherent strength of our joints and the surrounding connective tissues. As the years progress, the body's endogenous production of collagen naturally begins to taper off, a deficit that contributes directly to joints becoming stiffer, less flexible, and more prone to pain, a primary driver behind the discomfort many older adults cite. Omega-3s, by stimulating and supporting collagen synthesis, aid in preserving the structural soundness and flexibility of the joint matrix, thus facilitating a greater amplitude of motion and substantially decreasing associated pain levels. For seniors, the implication of this benefit is far more profound than simply feeling a bit better temporarily. It translates into a sustained ability to move fluidly, to bend without apprehension, to stretch without resistance, and to engage in the simple, everyday activities that enrich life, which are so often overlooked until they become difficult. Whether it involves enjoying a leisurely walk in the local green space, playing actively with grandchildren, or rising from a chair without a conscious bracing effort, the advantages conferred by consistent omega-3 intake are truly capable of reshaping one's experience of aging. So, what dietary choices should be prioritized to secure these essential omega-3s? Fatty fish varieties, including salmon, mackerel, herring, and sardines, stand out as the premier, most bioavailable sources of EPA and DHA. These aquatic offerings are not merely palatable. They deliver a dense package of nutrients that benefit cardiovascular health, brain function, and inflammation management far beyond joint support. For those individuals who either do not favor fish or find it logistically challenging to consume enough oily fish on a regular basis, the plant kingdom offers excellent compensatory pathways. Seeds such as chia, flax, and hemp, alongside walnuts, are superb sources of ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, the plant-derived form of the omega-3 fatty acid that can be effortlessly woven into daily meals and snacks. These plant-based selections are incredibly versatile ingredients ingredients and provide an excellent, reliable source for vegetarians and vegans seeking to harness the systemic benefits of the omega-3 family. Integrating omega-3 rich foodstuffs into one's routine is remarkably simple and frankly can be quite enjoyable. These nutrient-dense items can be incorporated in a multitude of appealing preparations. For example, a gratifying lunch might involve preparing a robust salmon salad, grill or bake a fresh fillet of salmon, serve it atop a generous bed of mixed dark leafy greens, and dress it lightly with high-quality olive oil and a squeeze of fresh lemon. This uncomplicated dish not only delivers a powerful dose of omega-3s, but also floods the system with essential vitamins, minerals, and vital antioxidants crucial for overall systemic health. As a satisfying mid-morning or afternoon boost, I personally favor stirring chia seeds into my morning portion of yogurt or hot oatmeal. The seeds introduce a delightful textural contrast and a healthy infusion of ALA. Another wonderful option is the preparation of a chia seed pudding by allowing the seeds to soak overnight in a plant-based milk, then topping it in the morning with fresh seasonal berries or chopped nuts for a naturally sweet and profoundly nourishing breakfast. For those facing significant hurdles in achieving therapeutic omega-3 levels purely through diet, high-quality omega-3 supplements, such as fish oil or algae-derived oil for a vegan source, represent a convenient and highly effective method to bridge the intake gap. These supplements are available in familiar formats, like soft gel capsules or liquid tinctures, offering an accessible way to augment your daily intake. Nonetheless, a crucial caveat: it is always prudent to engage in a brief consultation with your healthcare provider before initiating any new supplement regimen to confirm its suitability for your unique physiological profile and current health status. Furthermore, when strategically increasing omega-3 consumption, it is vital to maintain an awareness of the balance between omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids. While both categories are required by the body, the standard Western dietary pattern is heavily weighted toward an overabundance of omega-6s, an imbalance that actively promotes inflammatory states. By consciously elevating the intake of anti-inflammatory omega-3s, you actively support the restoration of a healthier internal equilibrium, significantly benefiting your long-term systemic health. Omega-3 fatty acids present an exceptionally straightforward, enjoyable, and scientifically validated pathway to enhance joint integrity, subdue systemic inflammation, and actively support the maintenance of robust leg strength as the years progress. The impact these healthy fats can have on one's functional capacity is nothing short of transformative. Whether you relish a perfectly cooked piece of baked salmon at dinner or simply snack on a small serving of walnuts during the day, integrating omega-3s into your diet is a direct investment in staying active, pain-mitigated, and vibrantly engaged as you age. As we collectively embrace the inevitable curveballs thrown by the process of growing older, prioritizing omega-3s is a profound act of self-stewardship, ensuring our legs remain powerful and our bodies continue to move with a degree of grace and functional freedom. It is a seemingly small dietary adjustment, yet one capable of yielding disproportionately massive returns in quality of life. Food number 3, vitamin D and calcium-rich foods. In embarking upon the journey through the often beautiful, yet occasionally demanding terrain of advanced age, we arrive at a fundamental understanding: the necessity of diligent, ongoing self-care for our physical vessel, focusing intently on the structural integrity of our bones and the functional capacity of our musculature. There exists an undeniable, profound nexus between the specific nutrients we consciously choose to ingest and the long-term health outcomes of our skeletal framework and muscle mass. Among the vast array of dietary components, calcium and vitamin D stand out as the undisputed primary architects in this critical equation, acting as joint custodians over our mobility, strength, and fundamental self-sufficiency as we age. The natural, inevitable physiological tide that turns as we mature involves a gradual, discernible reduction in bone density. Our skeletal framework, which serves as the body's internal scaffolding, progressively sacrifices its mineral density, rendering the bones inherently more brittle and significantly elevating the risk of fractures. The pathology known as osteoporosis represents the zenith of this risk, capable of stealthily undermining an individual's structural fortitude, leading to potentially life-altering bone breaks that can drastically curtail one's independence and quality of life. However, this is precisely where the synergistic power of calcium and vitamin D manifests its protective effect. These two micronutrients operate in flawless collaboration to shore up bone strength and optimize muscle performance. They function as the body's built-in armor, providing the necessary reinforcement to enable us to remain active, resilient, and fully empowered as we navigate the later decades. It is genuinely remarkable to consider the cooperative mechanism these two nutrients engage in within the human body. Calcium functions as the essential, quantifiable building material for our bones, the very element that imparts hardness and structural rigidity. Without an adequate supply of calcium, the structural integrity of the skeleton is compromised. Yet calcium, in isolation, cannot realize its full potential. It absolutely requires the presence of vitamin D to facilitate its effective uptake and assimilation into the skeletal structure. Picture the futile attempt to construct a complex edifice when the primary building blocks, calcium, are present, but the crucial binding agent, the mortar, which is vitamin D, is missing. The construction stalls. Vitamin D serves as that indispensable physiological mortar, regulating the absorption rate and maximizing the utility of every milligram of calcium we consume. I often reflect on the sheer prevalence of vitamin D insufficiency, particularly within the senior demographic. This nutrient is exceptionally vital for older adults because its function extends well beyond bone health. It plays an indispensable, direct role in proper muscle contraction and overall functional strength. Without sufficient vitamin D, even with adequate calcium consumption, the body simply cannot unlock and deploy that calcium effectively. It is analogous to having a high-performance vehicle but fueling it with impure, inadequate gasoline. Performance plummets. The measurable consequence of vitamin D deficiency manifests not only as progressively weaker bones, but also as an increased incidence of muscle weakness, which directly correlates with compromised balance, increased gait instability, and, most alarmingly, a higher propensity for dangerous falls. Falls represent a terrifying, yet sadly common hazard for many seniors, ranking as a leading cause of severe injury and mortality in this age group. Vitamin D acts as a crucial stabilizing agent by directly supporting muscular strength and coordination, particularly in the weight-bearing muscles of the legs. Maintaining dynamic balance becomes an increasingly nuanced challenge with age, making robust, reactive leg muscles paramount for fall prevention and the preservation of autonomy. The established link between vitamin D levels and functional muscle performance cannot be overstated. It is, without hyperbole, a genuine determinant in remaining steady, secure, and physically engaged. Without adequate levels, we risk struggling with fundamental daily ambulation, let alone participating in leisure-based physical activities. I am aware that many older adults encounter difficulties obtaining sufficient vitamin D exposure, either because mobility limitations restrict daily outdoor time, or due to geographical factors such as living in regions characterized by protracted winters and limited, intense sunlight. The physiological reality is that the efficiency of the skin's vitamin D synthesis mechanism significantly diminishes with advancing age. This underscores the absolute necessity of deliberately incorporating vitamin D and calcium-rich foodstuffs into our daily dietary repertoire. These nutrients can function as a lifeline, providing the intrinsic strength and stability required to continue experiencing life to its fullest potential, irrespective of the expected physiological shifts associated with aging. When considering calcium sources, fortunately, we have access to numerous universally recognized and palatable options. Dairy items, milk, yogurt, and various cheeses are consistently cited as some of the richest and most readily available sources of highly bioavailable calcium. These foods are not only enjoyable components of many diets, but also offer a straightforward avenue to reliably meet daily recommended calcium intake targets For those managing lactose intolerance or adhering to a non-dairy lifestyle, a wide array of suitable substitutions exists. Many commercially available plant-based beverages, such as almond, soy, and oat milks, are meticulously fortified with calcium to match or even exceed the levels found in dairy, delivering the necessary mineral structure without the associated lactose. This represents a fantastic, equitable dietary solution for anyone aiming to maintain a balanced nutritional profile while honoring specific dietary restrictions. Furthermore, dark leafy green vegetables, including kale, bok choy, and collard greens, are exceptional, naturally occurring sources of calcium, alongside a complement of other vital vitamins and minerals that bolster overall systemic health. I would pause here to ask for a quick acknowledgement. If you have remained engaged through the discussion of protein and omega-3s, please signify your continued attention by leaving a comment below. However, the acquisition of vitamin D presents a slightly greater logistical challenge compared to calcium. While fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and tuna are indeed stellar sources of vitamin D, many individuals still struggle to reach optimal intake levels through food consumption alone. Egg yolks and calcium-fortified dairy products can contribute modestly, but if these are not regular features of the diet, deficiencies are common. This is why supplementation of vitamin D becomes a critical consideration for a significant portion of the older population, especially if consistent sun exposure is limited. Fortified cereals, specialized plant milks, and even certain juices can bolster intake, but achieving clinically recommended blood levels often necessitates external support. For those residing in sun-scarce regions or those whose lifestyles inherently limit daily sun exposure, vitamin D supplements transition from being optional to being an invaluable component of a proactive health strategy. Naturally, the best practice involves consulting with a healthcare professional before initiating any supplement, ensuring the prescribed dosage is precisely tailored to your current vitamin D status. However, vitamin D supplements, particularly those formulated as D3 cholecalciferol, have proven extraordinarily effective in raising circulating blood levels of this essential fat-soluble vitamin, with D3 generally being the preferred, most efficacious form for supplementation. If you are currently grappling with suboptimal vitamin D levels, a well-chosen supplement could be the precise intervention required to keep your bones, muscles, and overall systemic function operating at peak capacity. Integrating these essential bone and muscle-supporting nutrients into the daily menu is surprisingly accessible. Initiating the day with a warm bowl of fortified oatmeal, generously topped with fresh fruit, and accompanied by a glass of vitamin D fortified orange juice, provides the body with a powerful, integrated combination of both calcium and D to energize the morning. For the midday meal, consider a nutrient-dense salad built around a base of kale or spinach, augmented by a serving of calcium-rich feta cheese or plain yogurt as a textural topping. A simple, strategic snack, perhaps a measured handful of almonds or a single cup of Greek yogurt, can effectively introduce additional essential minerals between larger meals. For the evening meal, focus on delicious centers of nutrition such as baked salmon or another oily fish, paired thoughtfully with a side of steamed broccoli or sautéed collard greens. These plates are not only gastronomically rewarding, but are also saturated with the precise nutrients required to maintain structural strength and vitality. If maintaining a purely plant-based repertoire, fortified tofu, or specific plant-based yogurts can serve as excellent, reliable alternatives to significantly elevate both calcium and vitamin D assimilation. Remember the overarching goal. It is not solely about achieving a numerical target for calcium and vitamin D intake. It is fundamentally about establishing the strongest possible biological foundation for a future characterized by continued independence, robust activity levels, and the unhindered enjoyment of all the experiences that imbue life with meaning. Strong bones and resilient muscles are the enablers of continued motion, the sustainers of personal agency, and the most effective barrier against the limitations that often shadow advanced age. Whether sourced through dairy products, dark greens, specifically fortified foodstuffs, or appropriate supplementation, making these nutrients a predictable, regular feature of your nutritional intake is arguably one of the most potent actions you can take to secure your long-term physical health and quality of life. The horizon of your later years is bright, and by securing this nutritional bedrock, you ensure your legs will remain stalwart, steady, and perfectly equipped to carry you through every forthcoming chapter of your life story. As we conclude this segment, I sincerely hope the insights shared regarding the critical interplay of calcium and vitamin D in fortifying bone structure, supporting muscle mechanics, and directly impacting leg strength during aging have been illuminating. From the scientific understanding of their complementary protective roles against falls and skeletal fragility to the practical, easy methods for weaving them into your daily culinary landscape, you have been presented with actionable steps to seize control of your physical longevity and maintain robust health as you mature. Now, I genuinely seek your perspective. What single concept resonated most powerfully with you during this detailed discussion on calcium, vitamin D, or the overall mechanics of healthy aging? Articulate one specific piece of knowledge you gained today that you intend to integrate into your daily practice starting immediately, and share it in the comments section below. If this video has provided substantial value and insight into maintaining your strength and health, please honor that by leaving a comment, offering a thumbs up signal of approval, and sharing this vital information broadly with any friends, family, or acquaintances who would benefit from these longevity secrets. And of course, confirm your subscription to this channel so that you never miss an opportunity to access further evidence-based guidance aimed at helping you achieve a longer, more vigorous, and profoundly healthier life. Please take excellent care of yourselves, and I eagerly anticipate reconnecting with you in the subsequent video presentation.